Hey, Gabriel Blake.
Hey, Gabriel Jose.
Where are we today?
We're at home, at our own homes.
Respective
San
homes.
Francisco. We're in San Francisco.
I like that you actually said like we're in San Francisco. We're in our San Francisco homes because we are like such real estate moguls that we have like properties all around the states.
Yes, this isn't to be mistaken with the Daly City home.
Exactly. Yeah. Come on. Or the Palm Springs home.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So what did we watch today?
We watched the Spike Jonze classic, I think you could call it, Being John Malkovich.
Gotcha. And this was actually your pick. Why did you pick this?
I kind of completely forgot it was my pick. Why did I pick this? I don't know. What did we talk about last time?
So you gave me the last movie that we watched. It was Donnie Darko. That unfortunately was our 50th episode. This is like our 51st. But you gave me an option between going with Charles Kaufman or going with Lars von Trier. Oh, David Lynch. Yeah, that's right. Yeah, you were not punishing me with Lars von Trier. And I actually chose to go with Charles Kaufman.
Yeah, so if you'd picked David Lynch, I was going to make you watch Wild at Heart.
I've never watched it.
I think you'll like it.
Is this with Nicolas Cage?
Nick Cage? Sure is. And Laura Dern. I love
Oh, yeah.
And Willem Dafoe.
Yeah, no, that's a good cast. So why did you pick out of all the Charles Kaufman movies Being John Malkovich?
So to be honest, it was just I glanced. We have a spreadsheet that you can access, anybody can access, and we score everything. Oh no, it's on your Instagram.
What?
It's not? I thought you put it on your Instagram.
No. I shared the podcast on my Instagram from time to time.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
so no.
But no the spreadsheet. Yeah.
We should publish this.
I think that this should be a surprise for everyone.
And we keep a list of things to watch. We've added quite a few. There's maybe 20, 30, well, no, more than that, 40. No, about 40. Yeah. And we had just watched, I'm thinking about ending things. So I just wanted to go back to a classic that you and I both liked. We thought we both liked Donnie Darko. Maybe Being John Malkovich is a steaming pile of shit. Let's talk about how we feel.
All right. So I think that then is my turn for actually trying to summarize this movie. Let's see what I can say. So the story follows John Cusack's character, Craig, I think that is called, that he's a professional puppeteer. And
no, he's an amateur.
Well, he's an aspiring puppeteer, you know, and they make like multiple jokes about like I don't know what was the name of the expert puppeteer that everyone is in love with. And I love the scene where he's like just looking at the TV and he's like, this puppeteer is reinventing the world with his 60 feet tall puppet like narrating Dickensian tales. It's such the most bizarre things. And the guy, John Cusack, is a constant like, oh, gimmicky. But John Cusack is married to Cameron Diaz. He's like, this is probably one of the most 90s cast that you could imagine. He's like, where are they now? They just disappear. No one knows of John Cusack or Cameron Diaz. Like they were hot for a minute.
When we were talking about watching this, I was like, oh, I love Catherine Keener, which is true, I do. And then I was like, what happened to her? Where did she go?
Yeah, she just disappeared. The 90s just passed by and, you know, they just roll over her. John Malkovich, we actually saw him in Velvet Buzzsaw.
That's right, I forgot he was in it. And he was really, I feel like he wasn't used well in that movie.
Yeah, he did like a good job. Well, but in any case, just going back to this movie. So after discovering that his puppeteer career is not going to be feeding him, his girlfriend, and the 16 different animals that they live with, he actually decides to look for a job, and the job that he finds is in this very bizarre company. Well, the company is not that it's bizarre per se, but it actually is in the 7.5th floor of a New York building. So something that Olivia Spencer? You know
Octavia Spencer.
Octavia Spencer. Yeah, Octavia Spencer is actually in one scene, only in one scene in the movie.
2 seconds.
For
I
2 seconds.
Forgot she was in it.
Yeah, I think that she was not that popular there.
Yeah.
But they basically need to just force the door for just getting into the floor. There's like a very bizarre story about it. And one day, after starting working for this company, he finds a mysterious small door that if you get through it, you basically become, or you can see through the eyes of John Malkovich, the
Yeah, like
actor,
you inhabit his consciousness.
for 15 minutes. And after 15 minutes, you are just expelled or regurgitated. I don't know exactly, throw up. I don't know exactly what would be the correct term. Next to the turnpike of the New Jersey. Yeah, that's such a specific, like position to do. I love those scenes when you see like the people like just being thrown from 10 feet, or probably like 15 feet tall into a slope, and you see them like just rolling down.
Rolling down.
Yeah, I wonder like how many people like got injured during this, because probably these are stunt actors. But yeah, that's basically the gist of the story. Then John Cusack falls in love with Catherine Kenner's character, that she also works on a 7.5 floor, and they decide to have a business.
It's unrequited, by the way. She kind of despises him.
Exactly. Yeah, I think that she despises everyone and everything, because she's extremely self-centered.
So I was like, she would be mean to me. I want her.
How is it? I mean, that's something that I remember about the movie. Is like, this is a movie that no one is good. The only good person is John Malkovich. And he's going to be used by everyone, So I think that there are like several readings about this story that is like, okay, it's not about like just being good or bad that you're going to be like succeed or not, but it's a bit more like almost telling you the opposite, that if you're only being good, if you're only just being like just living your life, actually the bad stuff may happen to you.
The script is just like a glimpse into Charlie Kaufman's mind, and it's weird and beautiful and funny.
Yeah.
Gross.
Yeah, so basically they start their own business, like renting for 15 minutes John Malkovich's body for $200 a piece. That in '99, that's a lot of money, But the thing is that they end up, the story, of course, like, is more convoluted. As also the girlfriend, John Cusack's girlfriend, Cameron Diaz, she also finds about this, and she falls in love with Catherine Keener, and Catherine Keener falls in love with John Malkovich, with Cameron Diaz's mind inside of him. More comedy ensue, and more dark comedy. Sorry, not comedy, dark comedy ensue. And
so Lottie and Catherine Keener, what is the name of her? Maxine,
yeah.
Start to have a lesbian, 15 minutes in John Malkovich's mind, and Lottie is convinced she's transgender. So she pursues a relationship knowingly with Maxine, but Maxine will only have sex with her when she's inside John Malkovich's mind.
Yeah, it's convoluted. It's pretty convoluted to actually explain what is going on here. Then again, I think that is the most memorable scene that everyone remembers about this movie is when John Malkovich discovers about the business and he gets into his own mind. And basically he jumps into a world where everyone is John Malkovich. And the only thing that they say is Malkovich. So it's that you even just take a look into the menu, because they're in a restaurant, that is like every single plate is Malkovich. Or there is like a singer, there is a singer, like in a very scampy clothes, and I don't know how to define it, she has like the face of Malkovich, and the song that she's singing is Malkovich.
I love that scene.
Yeah, that scene is hilarious. It's really amazing. So if I like the movie, I really like it. I had a feeling that it's like I appreciate like a bit more of it. I think that is like, okay, when I was younger, I was saying that there is no message to this, and it's true. There is a lot of bizarreness to it. That is okay. You're just making a bizarre movie just for the sake that you want to make like something bizarre, but at the same time, the center point is more clear to me now that I'm a bit older. That is about like just the desire of being someone else, and how actually the ones that they end up being happy, like Lot and Maxine, is the ones that they end up accepting that they are in love with each other. And it's not about like Lotte being transsexual or Maxine having the desire of being loved by more than a single person at the same time.
Yeah, so I agree with you. There's not a lot of a message here. Like, I think you summed it up, but I don't, well, this is probably selling Charlie Kaufman short, but I don't think he's concerned with getting a message across. He wants to make something that's entertaining and artistic, which I think he succeeds in doing extremely well.
Yeah, no, I agree. I think it's a really good movie. Now, I had a question for you. When I was watching this movie and I was thinking about it, and I was like just drawing parallels to and thinking of ending things, an adaptation, and even the Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind. Do you think that Charles Kaufman has a specific topic or a specific area of topics that he likes to just exploit? I don't think that he's a one-note scriptwriter.
But yeah, I mean, he seems to have, he's like carved out a space for himself in absurdism where he does explore the same themes in similar ways with similar plot devices.
Yeah.
But I really now want you to watch Synecdoche, New York, because I think you'll see the full spectrum of what's inside him. He put it all in that movie, all of it. Not that it's a good thing. I think his work excels when somebody's edited it, like a director or somebody else. But yes, to answer your question, I do think that he uses a specific toolbox to create his work.
Yeah, and I think that he already at this point with Being John Malkovich, he had already perfected it. I think that at this point, like, this script is good. It's honest to God good. I won't say that it's 100% perfect, but it's like if I actually watch adaptation, it's like I would say that maybe adaptation is more digestible than this. It's a bit less bizarre.
So, sorry, I'm pausing because I'm thinking. I don't know if I agree with you. I think adaptations, it's a little bit harder. A harder pill to swallow than this. I think anybody can go into this and just be entertained by the absurdity and the comedy and the darkness. But like adaptation expects you to follow along with the two brothers and what happens with the script. It's not, I don't know. I see what you're saying, but I disagree a little bit.
Okay, no, that's completely fair. I mean, I think that Being John Malkovich is a bit more metaphorical, or I don't know if it really tries to be metaphorical, but it makes you feel like it's metaphorical because what happens on the screen, what happens on the screen is like that cannot happen in the real world.
Yes.
I want to think that it couldn't happen on the real world. That you find like a small door in a random floor in a building in Manhattan, and it actually takes you to a famous actor mind. But what I would say is that the case for adaptation is slightly different. I mean, it's a bit more of when you analyze the elements that they're there, they're a bit more mainstream. You know, it's like a guy writing a script, and this story, this thriller that is happening at the same time with the orchid thief. So, but I still feel like the elements, he already knows which are his strengths, what his strengths are.
That is 100% true. I completely agree.
And I had the feeling that he wouldn't be like comfortable like just jumping out of those strengths. It's like he knows about like I'm good about like doing this kind of scripts. I'm not going to be like trying anything else.
Yeah, I think that's true. I think he knows that he's a surrealist, I guess you would call him, an absurdist, and he's like, yep, this is where I'm staying. Although I'm thinking with ending things is a little bit different, but anyway, yeah, I see your point. I also liked the film. I thought there were so many pieces of it that were just magical, like hilarious. I think John Cusack and why can't I remember her name? Cameron Diaz. I mean, those roles were so interesting and meaty, and Catherine Keener, I loved her. I particularly think of the scene, so to add a little bit more to the plot line, while Lottie is in John Malkovich, she impregnates Maxine, and at the end Lottie decides that she would rather her murder Maxine. She says, if I can't have you, nobody will. and they run through the portal. Well, Maxine runs into the portal to try and save herself, and she goes into John Malkovich's mind, and it's essentially this gun chase through all of these memories
That's
of John
amazing.
Malkovich. It's just so there's like I can't even do it justice by description, but like that one scene was just so incredible,
Yeah.
and I thought, who can create this in their mind? Charlie Kaufman is the only one, and Spike Jonze is the only one who can direct it.
But that's the thing, is like, I don't think that Charles Kaufman could have directed that scene.
I don't think so either. He doesn't have it.
You know, is that the work,
like,
the
visual
work,
grammar that
yeah,
Spike Jonze has.
the work with the camera, how they actually just turn like the scene around, you know, and they just jump from one perspective to another. At the same time that they are chasing each other and they're like playing the memories of John Malkovich, I find it like this is a stroke of mastery.
And just John Malkovich being okay, like he's not, those aren't actually his memories, but they make so much fun of not John Malkovich, but people's perception of John Malkovich.
Yeah.
I don't know. Can I say this is a perfect film? No, I can't, because there is one thing I took issue with this time around. And I'd completely forgotten it, was the story of Lester Core?
The CEO of the company?
Well, it's like the group of people who found immortality by changing
Dr.
from one
Lester.
vessel to another. Yeah. I just found that to be a little bit weak, and the fact that I had completely forgotten it existed in the film surprised me. It's just one minor complaint in a film I otherwise totally love.
I remember that part. I remember that part from the perspective that at the end, John Cusack leaves the body and they take over. I don't remember that there was like a group of people. I thought that it was only Dr. Lester. I mean, the thing, I don't think that I have any kind of specific problems with the script. I love the movie. I mean, I love it more now, watching it now, than probably the first time that I watched it, because of that point. I think that at that point I would have been more susceptible to Ingmar Bergman, because I was thinking that films need a message. They need to be transcendental. They cannot be entertainment, you know. And at that point, when I watched The Virgin Suicides and this, I felt like both of them, they were almost as empty as each other. You know, The Virgin Suicide, I felt like, okay, this is an exercise in aesthetics.
You bite your goddamn tongue.
And I love Air. I love the soundtrack. But with the Being John Malkovich, I feel that, okay, I think that I see what you're doing, but or I'm missing something, or there is nothing here to digest. It's just like an entertainment, a bizarre entertainment. I think that now I appreciate a bit more. I mean, I can get a bit more of subtext from the movie. I still think that it's not like something that it tries to be like transcendental about, like in 20 years people are going to be like talking about this movie.
I do. Isn't it at least 20 years old? People are going to talk about this forever. Yeah, it's 21 years old.
21 years old. But what I mean is, like, they're not going to be like making us a reference on cinema. Do you think that there's going to be like a top 10 movies from the 90s and it's going to be there?
I could be naive, but yeah, I feel like this is, when I watched this, I was like, this is what I loved about movies at that time. Like, it stands out as something incredible. Maybe I'm completely wrong.
No. I'm not saying that you're wrong. It's that for me, I had the feeling that I'm a bit torn about it. You know, it's not that I think that it's a timeless movie. It's not a timely movie.
Yeah.
It's like, because there are already like some mediums as we have right now, and you know, some of the camera work is amazing. I think that is like incredible how Spike Jonze like translates like the visual narrative from the 90s, from the video clips from the 90s, that they were like dominating like the arts per se, into just a movie. I think that that's perfectly made.
Yep. There were so many nice little touches. When they're first inhabiting John Malkovich's mind, they see that he's constantly confused for somebody who played a jewel thief because he never played one, which is hilarious. And then there's this scene where he's at a restaurant meeting Maxine for the first time, and this guy, a fan, comes up to him, and Spike Jonze told that actor, in this scene, just use the word retard as many times as possible. And so there's this guy, and he's like, you played a retard in that movie. I have a retard for a cousin, so you can imagine it's really important for me to see retards.
Yeah, I think that there were like two things that I actually had like a bit of an issue, on the script. That is that the first one is that like the retard that I felt like, okay, was 99 okay to say the word retard in the kind of nonchalantly way? I don't think so. This feels like a bit out of time, and maybe that's the joke.
It was meant to be uncomfortable.
Yeah, and the other part is about like when Cameron Diaz just comes back from the first time, like going into John Malkovich's body. It's like, I think that I'm transsexual. That I feel like,
yeah, that didn't age well, because I'm like, no, we have to be really aware of that issue now. So
yeah, it's like, okay, I see that you're like just making the joke, but I don't know if the joke is about like you only spend like 15 minutes as a man, and it's like now your whole life is about being a man, or it's about like you are making fun of transsexuals, So
no, I think it was making fun of her for thinking.
Yeah, I mean, if that was the case, I was like, okay, that's fine, but it's at the same time, there is a very thin line between one thing and the other, and films usually don't get that line right.
That scene made me laugh a lot when she was like, I'm going to talk to Dr. Whoever about it. John Cusack is like, don't jump to conclusions, and he's an allergist.
Yeah, I had to say that John Cusack is one of my less liked actors from the 90s and the 2000s, but in this movie, it's good. In this movie, it's actually good. Yeah,
he's okay being the butt of a joke, whereas I feel like most of the time he chooses roles where he's like a hero or... Yeah, on this one, he's a bit more like the loser. He's just, like not only the joke, but it's a bit more like, look, you fall in love with Maxine after just looking at her for 3 seconds, basically. There is nothing else that connects you, and you are like madly in love with her. So from that perspective, I was like, yeah, sure. I mean, I know that you're not trying to just define ultra complex characters. You're just making some kind of crazy New Yorkian archetypes. I would disagree with that. I don't think he was in love. I think that's the whole point, is that he was unhappy in his marriage and he saw this incredibly sexy woman and then just wanted to fuck her. And that's why he was a disgusting person.
Yeah. No, maybe.
I mean, he literally locked his wife up in a chimpanzee cage so that he could go into John Malkovich's mind and fuck Maxine.
But don't you have the feeling that it's like basically the same story with Cameron Diaz then?
Oh yeah, both of them are rapists. I mean, that's what they are.
Sure, yeah, they actually get into John Malkovich's head, and then they try to have sex with Maxine. Yeah,
and Maxine is turned on after the fact when she finds out that they. Yeah, it's when you talk about this movie too much, it sounds like
rapist,
offensive, but it's not. It's like it's done in a sense of humor.
Yeah, I mean, it's dark humor. It's just all dark comedy. But I would say something that I have forgotten is like how much in the movie John Malkovich was. I thought that he was not such a main character, although it's called Being John Malkovich, but he's probably in half of the movie. I would say you have to just pick who is the main actor. I will be debating if it's John Cusack or John Malkovich.
Yeah, it's a very, like, the parts are very evenly shared, I feel like, between the 4 main characters.
Yeah.
So I'm pretty sure Charlie Kaufman wrote the script for John Malkovich, and John Malkovich loved it, but didn't think he was the best actor. He thought it would be better with somebody else. He even offered, he's like, look, I'll produce this for you, Spike. And then years later, he was like, all right, I'll do it.
I could say that actually his acting is amazing.
This is awesome.
He sells
hilarious.
It. Yeah. At the point when they start, when John Cusack realizes that he can control John Malkovich, and he starts like just talking in this very weird way. I can't control him. I found that hilarious. I think that John Malkovich, they just roll with all the surreal stuff, and he does like a really good job. And when he becomes like the world's most famous puppeteer, he just reinvented himself at 44 years old.
And I love all of the movie star cameos, like
Did you like the Brad Pitt one?
The Brad Pitt one was incredible. I was trying to figure out was that like a fact?
I really into it. No, it was like he looking like, why instead of talking with me, you're talking with the wife or John Malkovich?
So annoyed. And then Charlie Sheen is in it. This is pre-Tiger Blood days, and they're like training Hollywood idiots, and they just casually mention, I think it was Gary Sinise, right, about somebody else they're gonna save at the end. He's like, I figured out Eternal Life. Yeah, for me, you, and maybe Gary Sinise.
Yeah, I mean, in any case, I mean, I have to say that it's pretty bizarre. It makes me feel uncomfortable watching it, but not uncomfortable in a way like happiness. You know, there is a happiness. I think there is a clear.
The movie, I see.
Yeah. You know, there are a couple of points that when I analyze about like everyone is terrible in this movie as human beings, is that there is a bit of uncomfort present. There is like
Lottie has a chimp named Eliza who has an ulcer because of suppressed childhood trauma. Yeah, everyone is shitty, and there is a discomfort, but not in a like existential pain sort of way. I mean, I guess there is existential pain, but it's not like born out of true trauma, which I think is Todd Solondz world. Like, hey, fucked up shit happens, he's gonna turn it into art. I think this is more, let's experience weird emotions.
I mean, the thing is like Todd Solondz, I think that he's a bit more hooked in reality. Yeah. And Charlie Kaufman is a bit more like, okay, I'm going to start with something that is set in reality, and I'm going to be like making it as bizarre as possible, like Anomalisa, or I'm thinking of ending things.
Which is totally works for me, and I would watch anything he puts out.
No, definitely. I mean, I think there is like as I told you, it's like I think that is the only screenwriter that I know by name. You know, now he became a director, but before I used to say is that I will watch anything that he writes, regardless of who directs it.
Interesting.
But there are no other
I'm trying to think of like actual screenwriters that I at that time would have known, and they're mostly like writer and director.
Well, I mean, like he actually just transitioned into just being a director too. And as we discussed when we were watching, when we were talking about I'm thinking of ending things, is that we think that he can accomplish like the same level as, you know, directing, as for example with Spike Jonze or Michel Gondry, but he's not there yet. He keeps growing. But from that perspective, it's like I don't think that I know any other screenwriter that I would say is like, oh yeah, that's amazing. Is that I would.
Diablo Cody.
Oh no, man! Oh no.
No, that was a joke. Very
okay.
Bad joke.
I mean, I like Juno, but.
Yeah, I surely there are scriptwriters that I admire. I can't think of any right now. Ingmar Bergman.
But he's a director too.
I know. All the ones I'm thinking of: Quentin Tarantino, Shyamalan.
One day we should watch something by Shyamalan.
That's. Oh yeah, we can do the one about the ferry, but at the hotel.
The ferry at the hotel?
My mind is not working. The Lady in the Water.
Okay, yeah, I would actually watch The Lady in the Water because I have the theory that is, if you only wrote this script and you gave it to a more talented director, it would have worked better. But I agree with you that he's a better director than a screenwriter. I don't know what went wrong with that movie, honestly.
But yeah, I think he is a rare example where the writer comes through, her personality and character comes through so strongly that it's not a Spike Jonze movie, it's a Charlie Kaufman movie directed by Spike Jonze.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. And I think that actually the partnership that they have between Spike Jonze and Charles Kaufman, it worked perfectly. It's like it's something that I wish that it had worked for a longer time, you know? And then Spike Jonze, I don't know exactly who broke up with whom.
They stopped working together.
Yeah, so basically he did the Where the Wild Things Are, Spike Jonze, and then he did her. That I think that Spike Jonze wrote both of them.
I found a screenwriter that I think you like as much as Charlie Kaufman. Aaron Sorkin.
Fuck you, man. God. But the funny thing is, like, I still feel torn about him, you know, because it's like there is something that still compels me to actually see his.
That's called rage watching. Rage watching. That's what we do with Aaron Sorkin.
He's a look. God, I don't want to get too much into it because it's a different kind of topic. But it's like, yeah, I think that is like we love to hate him.
My pick for next week is just all of Newsroom.
Look, I think that you can just watch the first 3 minutes of Newsroom and you already know what his style is. When he's like, America is not the best country, but it could be, and I'm going to make it through a newsroom.
Oh God! And then his like pompous writing of Zuckerberg in the Social Network. I was like, "Fuck you, Aaron Sorkin."
But no, basically, Spike Jonze wrote both Where the Wild Things Are and Her. And I felt like Where the Wild Things Are, we're like, if you actually had like Charles Kaufman doing an adaptation of this child's book, it would be amazing. It would be so fucked up.
I remember being so disappointed in that movie. I loved that book as a child, and it even has Lauren Ambrose, is that her name? From 6 Feet Under. It has her in it, and I love her. But yeah, I wish he hadn't written that. But I did absolutely love Her.
I think that we talk about Her. Maybe I would need to rewatch it, but I wasn't that impressed. I thought that it felt a bit short. You know, it was still good. I liked it, but I think that it's okay. If you had a better script, this would be amazing. Because the only character that I like is actually Amy Adams on that movie.
I don't even remember enough about that movie to remember her in it.
She was the neighbor, like the one that she was actually in love with Joaquin Phoenix, but Joaquin Phoenix was in love with Scarlett Johansson's voice. Yeah.
I was actually watching that movie like a week before my boyfriend, who became my husband at some point, moved to New York. And so the movie just hit too close to home, and I was very sad.
Okay. Now, the other thing that is like pretty bizarre is that Spike Jonze actually brought scripts, like some scripts. So he brought the script for Jackass the movie.
I saw Jackass on his IMDb page and I was like, what?
Yeah, I wanted to ask you, is that because I'm North American, I don't know about this, but it's like if you actually
MTV has never gone into other countries, so there's no way you could do it.
Okay, what I'm saying is like I don't have like too much context about like how Spike Jonze could end up like being involved with Jackass, but maybe as you say, is that he used to be a video clip director, like music videos director. And that's how maybe he got involved with MTV, and he ended up saying like, oh yeah, Jackass is a concept that I like. I'm going to be like writing the script for that.
That's bizarre.
Yeah, I honestly don't know.
So I was actually reading today an article published in the New York Times in May of this year, and the 2 critics from the newspaper picked their best films of the year so far that you could stream. And a couple of them from A.O. Scott were documentaries. And so I saw it, but I didn't know Spike Jonze directed one of the ones they recommended. It's supposed to be really, really good, and it came out this year.
A documentary?
Documentary. Yeah, about the Beastie Boys.
Oh, gotcha. Oh, okay. Who actually was that? I'm curious about. Oh, it's on Apple TV. Screw that. Yeah, we'll never watch it. Yeah, but I mean, the thing is like the aesthetics, and we already discussed what is going to be our next movie, but it's funny because these 2 movies, they actually connect with Björk, that we both love.
Yep.
Because
Spike Jonze directed her videos, right?
Exactly. The director, like, it's also quite
discovered Michelle Gondry.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. So I think that is like they are very. I think that they actually grew up in the other way around. Like Spike Jonze directed, this movie, and he grew up as a screenwriter. And the other way around is happening for Charles Kaufman, that he actually wrote this movie, but he's growing now with the aesthetics and the sensibility of being a director.
Yep. I bet that.
So I mean, I'm happy to see like both of them like just becoming their own people. But it's like I love this movie and I love adaptation so much. I love adaptation more than this. I told you that like many times. It's a movie that I find mind blowing. That I wish that they actually kept collaborating.
Yeah, me too.
That they married each other.
So it's weird as we get older. Well, you're very old, so you already know this, but like when it's been 15 years since you last saw a film as an adult, it's weird because you have these like emotional memories, but I don't know how to describe it. I was really nervous going into Being John Malkovich, particularly because we had just seen Donnie Darko, came out at the same time. We both loved it and realized it was complete shit. So I was worried about Being John Malkovich, but all that I experienced was remembering how much I love this movie, how smart it is, how funny, inventive. All of the little touches are incredible. I mean, would I recommend this to anyone? Absolutely. Like anyone, I would say watch this movie.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know about my parents from the perspective that this is going to be like too bizarre, and my parents are old, so it's like I think that probably they're going to feel like pretty confused about like who is that John Malkovich guy? I thought that he was a real actor, but it's going to be like going into the body of her daughter. That's a very disturbing thing.
All right, maybe seniors, you might not be ready for the sexual content. Yeah. And the absurdity of it, but overall, I think this is pretty palatable for most people.
Yeah, I think that aesthetically, as we described, like a scene when they're like chasing each other and trying to kill each other through their memories, that scene is amazing. Like the Malkovich scene is incredible. It's like something that you never forget. I actually have forgot the chase scene. I have forgotten.
I had too. I remember that. And also the effects for coming out. When was this movie?
99.
When he goes into the Malkovich world, I was looking for, I don't know, low quality effects, but it's incredible. I never saw anything that I was like, oh, this is dated.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know exactly how they did it, but it's like, that's the reason why I was asking you before we started recording, if you read any kind of interview or anything about it. But I wonder if John Malkovich played most of the roles. I mean, they're like some really short people that is okay. On those ones, it's pretty clear that they have some makeup over. But I had the feeling that it's like maybe what they did is like just using like green screen over the head, and then just place the head. I have no idea, because I was just paying attention to this amazing. This amazing is it almost feels like even like the woman laying on top of the piano singing Malkovich. It's like that's actually John Malkovich. That he actually had like some implants put for that scene.
It looks like it, yeah.
So that look, everything. This probably is like the second time that I watched this movie, but it's like I love that John Malkovich rolled with this. That he said like, okay, let's do this bizarre thing that you're imagining.
You said this is only the second time?
Yeah, it's only the second time.
Oh, I've seen that. I've seen it 4 or 5 times, I'm sure, but it's been a long time.
Yeah. No, for me, it was like, I only watched it in 99 or 2000. As I told you, I rented like the same weekend, The Virgin Suicides and this. And I think that The Virgin Suicides made me think less of this movie.
And that's why you're so bitter towards that beautiful, beautiful film. Because it confused young Jose.
Look, I think that this movie artistically is amazing. If I'm going to remember it, is like for sure. It's like I remember like most of the story of it.
Yeah,
you know?
I did too. There were just nice things that I rediscovered, but overall, I remember this movie made an impact in my mind, a big impact.
Yeah. So, what is your score?
I didn't even think about that. I would say 8.5.
Holy shit, man. As you actually said that it was a perfect film, I thought that you were going to be like going with a 9.5, but my score is also an 8.5.
No, I think it's a very, I don't know. It's very, very good, but it's not transcendental, like you said. It's not trying to be. It knows what it is. But if you were to, so when I'm thinking for me a perfect film, like Through a Glass Darkly or something, it just doesn't have that like gravitas that I think a 10 has to have for me. But it's a very good film.
Yeah. Okay, if we're going to be like just full snuff pretentious, I fully agree with that. Is that my problem with this movie is that it's a movie that is good. I would recommend it, and it's quality entertainment. But for example, it's like I love adaptation because I think that there is a bit more to it. You know, like the layer of madness that adaptation adds of adding himself and making up like the twin brother and just reflecting about the adaptation process, about like how a script comes to happen. I think that
like in a metaphor, this is like Hunger from Steve McQueen, but he technically got better for 10 Years a Slave, 7 Years a Slave, whatever that movie was.
Same.
Like, that is a more mature film, but I enjoyed Hunger more. I still enjoy Hunger more. So yes, I think you're right. Adaptation is technically a more sophisticated, smarter film, but for me, this one is so much more fun.
No, the reason why you like Hunger more is because you can see Michael Fassbender dick.
No, that is the next one.
Same. You can see it on both.
Like.
But it's like in Hunger you can see him where he's like just starving to death in his jail room.
Oh yeah, but come on, that's not.
And just painting with his feces on the wall. He's like, that's still naked. That's still Fassbender.
I'm adding Hunger to our to-watch list.
Can we just watch like the 12-minute dialogue and just skip the rest?
Oh, it's 17 minutes, and that's like a wet dream for a cinephile.
Sure, but only 12.
On it. Good for us.
Yeah, but it's only like 12 minutes of those are contiguous. Then there is actually a cut.
Oh, is there? Okay.
Yeah, it is. It is. They couldn't make it work. Look, this is insane. Let's just stop McQueen, please.
They moved in together, those two actors.
Yeah.
You're the one who told me that. Sorry.
I told you that. There is like I read like an interview and it's like, yeah, actually Steve McQueen just moved into my house every single day. We were practicing like 20 times. It's a scene. That is pretty funny because like at the end it's a dialogue between two people, and Steve McQueen was playing the other character. It's almost like he didn't trust Fassbender to actually pull this out. He's like, the other guy, yeah, I trust him, but we had to practice this shit.
I feel like Steve McQueen is a great indicator of age because there's like a specific generational line where if you say Steve McQueen to this person, they absolutely think of the actor, and to somebody like our age and a little bit younger, it's only the director.
The funny thing is that I'm not completely sure about it. I think that even like just new generation, if you actually ask to someone around your age or younger, if that's possible to find on the city, if you're asking about Steve McQueen, they may actually think about the actor from Bullet, what's called? Like the movie shot here in San Francisco.
Yeah, maybe that's true.
Yeah, even if you search for it on Google, the first suggestion is actually the actor, Bullet.
Ridiculous.
Yeah, well, I'm sorry, man. But yeah, I think there is an 8.5. I would love to watch adaptation. I watched it like fairly recently, so I'm going to be adding it to the list, but pretty low.
Oh, I didn't realize the list was prioritized.
No, it's not.
Well, good selection. Good for you. Especially after Donnie Darko, we needed something.
Yeah, to wash off the bad taste.
The taste of that Kelly guy.
Yeah. Oh my God. Yeah, that was not good. But yeah. So next week is my pick. Well, next time is my pick, and I'm actually just keeping up with movies from the 90s and 2000s that they are like pretty surreal. I want to watch The Science of Sleep because I know that you love Björk, Michel Gondry. Well, I don't know if you like Michel Gondry from the whole
I like his early days. What he's done recently, Seth Rogen as the Green Hornet.
Oh God, yeah, let's just forget that. Yeah, that he did that. But yeah, he was like a very visual director, the same way as as Spike Jonze. So this also has Garcia Bernal that I think that you have like a weakness for. So
I just love that man. I love him.
So I would love to actually just hear what you think about this movie.
All right.
Cool. All right. Well, to whoever is out there, thank you so much for putting up with us.
Thanks, guys. Wash your hands.
Bye.